Absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Zero excuses. Um, the United States men's national team once again falls in the round of 16 for a third consecutive, fourth consecutive tournament, rather. There's some things that are too big to know where to start. So I think how I'm going to do this, I'm going to divide it into three sections. There's going to be the game. There's going to be a second section where I kind of talk about how big of a missed opportunity this was and how it just keeps getting messed up in this country. And finally, I want to talk a bit about the future and how potentially we can break the glass ceiling and get into that quarterfinals, which right now doesn't look good. Just doesn't look good. So let's start with the game. The U.S. coming in with a lot of momentum. They win their group on 6 points. First time they've won the group since 2010. They go into the round of 32, beat Bosnia and Herzegovina 2-0. Flo Balogun with a big goal. Malik Tillman with a free kick. The big storyline that comes out of it, though, is the Flo Balogun red card that he gets wrongfully assessed. I think most people who watch that game in live time know that's not a red card. It's just not a red card. It doesn't deserve to be a red card. He's challenging him, and he's not even looking at his leg. There's no intent or anything. Yes, can you say severeness of the injury? Yes, but it's due to looking at it in slow motion, and VAR is overassessed. It just is. So it's a red card, meaning that under normal circumstances, Flo Balogun would not play in the upcoming game in the round of 16 against Belgium. Well, that is until the White House had something to say about it. They call up their old pal Gianni Infantino and say, hey, you know this Flo Balogun kid, I don't even know what a red... He said he didn't even know what a red card is. But we need to get Flo Balogun in this game. So, of course, what do? They suspend the suspension, put him on probation. Flo Balogun's going to play against Belgium. And obviously, Belgium and the entire world is upset for valid reason. This country has now tried to corrupt the World Cup. And look, no matter what you want to say, it was a red card, it wasn't a red card. I believe the right determination was made of Balogun should play in this game. The means to get there were completely unethical and just absolutely just poor from as a U.S. fan perspective. It's not how it should have been gone around. It leads distractions all around the team. Belgium's coming in with something to play for now. All of the momentum that the United States has built up to this point, which they've had a lot, 3 wins, most of the World Cup ever. They're coming out their first knockout stage win since 2002. It's all so much momentum. It's all brought to a grinding halt by our government having to step in and say, you know what? No, we're going to help you guys out. And they didn't help them out. Because then we'll get to the game here. It kicks off, and the whole entire world is now ganged up on the United States. I was watching some reactions, and everybody wanted to see us lose. And look, as an American fan, I can see why. I can understand why. The United States is not a very popular country right now in the world. So it's understandable, and especially with this just brings all of that back to light. Everything going on in the world, that the United States seems to put themselves in the headlines for just about everything. So right from the get-go, and now we'll step away from the political kind of outside narratives here. Flo Balogun gets to start, um, but it didn't really matter. The United States looked completely outmatched from the first minute. They were losing possession, and then just poor defending leads to the first goal in the 9th minute. Looking at the notes here, De Ketelare, it's a great ball fight by Leandro Trossard. Serginho just has to do better clearing, and our defense was bad. I mean, everything was bad in this game. It was bad, like just atrocious. All Matt Freese can do is sit there and watch as the Belgians tap in for the lead. But in my mind, hey, it's okay. We've still seen 4 games of phenomenal football, soccer from this United States team. We can do it. We can turn it around. There's time. 80 minutes, Poch is going to get us going. Just because we go down early, we're good. Well, we got our moment. Malik Tillman gets the free kicks outside of the box. Some might say it's not a foul. It doesn't matter how this game goes. Malik Tillman drills an absolute stunner. Takes a deflection. It doesn't matter. U.S. is 1-1. The American flags are being waved. The USA chants can be heard. Seattle is rocking. It is pandemonium in the Pacific Coast. Everybody in the country is going crazy. And apparently, all of that chaos and distraction caused our defense to fucking shit the bed and give up a fucking goal immediately. 61 seconds after we equalize, they give up another header. Tim Ream gets absolutely dunked on by Charles de Ketelare again, and it's 2-1 to the Belgians. Brother, we didn't even have enough time to celebrate us going up, tying the game 1-1, and then it just got bad. Going into half, the vibes were pretty low. The vibes were at an all-time low. But hey, Pochettino, he was gonna figure something out. That's what I was saying. I saw Pochettino. I said, just cook up some crazy tactics, get us back in this game. And you know what? I'm not going to give the Americans much credit in this game, but in the first 10 minutes of the second half, they looked good. They were creating chances. They had opportunities. It was just the final touch. There was a ball. Tyler Adamson's soaring into the outside of the box. Alex Freeman, all he needs to do is strike one across goal or towards the net, and instead he tries to touch it and bring it up, and he can't, and it goes out for a goal kick. It's just missed opportunities like that all night that just show lack of effort in my end. And then I don't even know what to say about the third goal for the Belgians. I genuinely don't even know where to start. It's a goal kick sent long. De Ketelaere's chasing after it. Matt Freese, somebody who I've been pretty critical of this whole entire World Cup. I believe I said after the Bosnia game, I said, man, he just looks like he's one bad mistake away from costing us the game. Well, hell, I don't think he cost us this game, but he sure as hell did not help us. He comes out, makes a great touch on the chest, and brings it down. And at this point, I'm like, wow, he showed some composure there. That's just some pretty good composure with that much pressure. And then he gets it onto his right. He's ready to pass it out and get it out quick and get us going. And he pulls a Young Wei Koo and just stops, hesitates. De Ketelaere grabs it from him, gets it to Vanaken, who puts it in from almost mid-pitch, and it's 3-1 to the goddamn Belgium. Oh my god. That goal was the nail in the coffin in the 57th minute. It was And then of all people, it's Romelu Lukaku who puts us away with a fourth goal in the 90+3. As a Chelsea fan, Romelu Lukaku has given me enough pain and suffering, not let alone 2014, given me enough pain and suffering that he just puts the dagger in the heart, just takes anything we had left, and the US are eliminated once again. Now look, a lot of comparisons are going to be made 2014 to now. What was the worst loss? I don't know. 2014 was heart-wrenching because you had the Tim Howard 16 saves, and then the extra time almost coming back and not doing it. This one was just tragic. With all of the momentum that we had coming in, we're on home field. This is a winnable game, and we just shat the fucking bed. We shat in the bed. We were doo-doo. It was terrible. We looked completely played off the pitch throughout the entire game. Even when we had our top moment, our best moment, it took us 60 seconds to immediately reach a new low. So now I'll transition into the middle portion, which is why this is a big deal. This game should not be, oh, this was 2022, oh, we're still showing signs. No. This is, anybody who's telling you that this is progress or that this isn't a failure for the United States men's national team does not know what they're talking about. This is failure. This was by far the easiest path the United States men's national team has ever had to a quarterfinal of a World Cup, and they blew it in tremendous fashion, in worse fashion than you'd say ever. You know, you go back 4 years ago, having to go through England in the group stages. The Netherlands is a very tough round of 16 matchup. I would argue much tougher than Belgium. Then, 2018 we can't even talk about because they missed the World Cup. 2014, Belgium was, all of these players that were scoring, Lukaku, they were in their prime. They were actually much better. I can't even imagine them playing against this team. Probably be fucking 8-1. Oh my. Yeah. And not to mention the fact that this all happened on our home field with all of the Americans at their back. It was, everything was there for us to make a deep run. This was supposed to be the pinnacle of this generation. This Pulisic, McKennie, Tyler Adams, Flo Balogun, Serginho Dest, all of this group that we've been hyping up as the next generation after the Dempsey, Donovan, Howard era. This was the next generation that was going to come in and break through. Well, this was their moment. World Cup on home soil. They're all in their peaks. This is their prime. Pulisic, this is the prime of Christian Pulisic. And man, they failed. They could not get further than any team before them has, except for that 2002 team. That by this point is way better. The golden generation that we've called this generation isn't the golden generation. It's just not. They failed to reach any expectations. 2018 missed the World Cup. 2022 round of 16. 2026 on home soil round of 16. It's the same shit over and over and over. New coach, no new results. Now I'll highlight some players, because Christian Pulisic, look, you're a great player. You've had great European success winning the Champions League with Chelsea. You've gone on Milan. You've had a great showing this year. Not great. You played great for 45 minutes against Paraguay. But outside of that, where were you? Where were you? I get injuries. Injuries happen. Injuries happen. If you can't play, that's fine. But where were you for the last half an hour of the biggest game in United States men's national team history? Where were you? Sitting on the bench. Look, again, injuries are injuries, but I think I've got to talk about a bit of an Allen Iverson quote here. We're talking about practice, not the game. Well, this is the game. The game that you pour everything into. How the hell are you not playing through injury? If it's really bad, fine, cool. But if you tweaked a little ankle, unless you can't walk or run hardly, man, give everything you have for this country. And it starts with, hey, look, last summer you needed a vacation. Cool. You needed a vacation and didn't want to play in the Gold Cup. That's fine. It sets a standard. It sets a tone. It sets an expectation that you, as the so-called leader of this team, say, I don't really care about the Gold Cup. I don't really care about the Nations League. I don't really care about any of these small little cups or things. But you care about the World Cup, and guess what you did at the World Cup? 0 goals. 0 goals. Outside of that little flick in between two players to find the own goal, nothing. He did nothing at this World Cup. Absolutely nothing. So, it's time to step it up, buddy. It's time to step it up. We need better from you. And for the rest of the players, is this as good as it gets? Is this as good as it gets? So now, probably part 2.5-ish of this video. I'm going to talk about why it's so disappointing, getting to a bit of off the field stuff, why it's so disappointing that this keeps happening. It felt, obviously coming into this World Cup, the perception from outside of Canada, Mexico, United States was that this was going to be a poorly ran World Cup. There were so many narratives outside of the soccer and the game being played coming in that just were really making me mad. Because the United States is such a great country. Just because there's people that are very divisive, that are running our country, doesn't mean that you have to hate us. And it was turning that way. Once those tournaments started, people were coming. People like that Freddie guy who was going viral on Twitter. He was going everywhere. He was going to Waffle House. People were meeting everyday Americans who were not these crazy lunatics that they think we are. And it was great. And then the whole Balogun situation happens. And all of a sudden, it's not about the games. It's not about the people. It's not about the fans. It's not about the country. It's about some people that have nothing to do with the game getting involved again and putting their head in where they have no business being. And it takes away from the football, and it makes everybody hate us. We're the villains. Why is the United States the villains? Why? Like, I get it. I get why we're the villains, but why? Why do we have to be the villains? Why does everybody have to laugh and celebrate when we go down 4-1 against Belgium? Like, man, it's just watching the Egypt-Argentina game today made me think, man, we could be Egypt if we got out of our own head and just played the sport. And okay, I'm done talking about that. It's just so much outside stuff that has nothing to do with the World Cup. That why is this a thing? And it makes me so mad. Um, so now we'll shift to the future. What is the future, and how do the United States get to the quarterfinals in 2030 in Saudi Arabia? Well, first of all, we're gonna have to qualify. This was the one thing about being the host nation. You didn't have to qualify. It was so much easier. We were going to really be able to focus. We don't have to go through any qualifying games. Well, now we're back there. We're going to have to qualify. And hey, qualifying ain't an easy thing, as we know from 2018. The first decision, though, that has to be made is what's going to happen with Pochettino? Look, I'm not going to say that Pochettino is a bad coach. I definitely think you look at the team Berhalter put together, hell, 2 years ago in the Copa America, and to now, certainly has been progress made. Certainly. A lot of progress. But the first question has to be, does he want to come back? Obviously, there's the rumors of that he's going to go take a job in Europe right after the World Cup, which we'll see if that actually happens. He seems like he's loving being the United States men's coach. But who knows? 4 years is a long time to wait for another World Cup. Does he think he can stick around for 4 more years to get to the World Cup, or does he just want to go be a club coach where he's coaching things every year that really matter? It's a big decision. Personally, I endorse Pochettino. Look, I think a lot of the negatives of Pochettino came out in the last game. Obviously, his club career as a coach, he was always known as the guy who could never win you the big one. He could get you there, but he could never win you the big one. This was the big one for the United States. The round of 16 game was the big one. If we win this game, nothing matters after that. We're playing with house money. We are playing with house money, taking on Spain. Who knows what happens from there? But we aren't. We lose again. I just don't know. There's so much that needs help with the sport of soccer in this country. These players need to show some sort of want. There was no want, no desire to win, no desire to do anything out there on the pitch. It just felt like they were just doing whatever, la 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 la, and we're gonna go try and get to the quarterfinal of the World Cup. And then you got fucking belt from Belgium. Oh man, yeah. It's a long process, and we'll see how many of these players. I mean, Ream's gone. Matt Freese shouldn't touch another soccer ball for the United States team. We'll see. Pulisic, Balogun's gonna. We'll see how Balogun responds after this whole entire fiasco he's been through. There's just a lot of questions that are being asked and have to be asked about this United States team that are just things that keep coming up, that have been coming up for the past 15 years, that won't be addressed, that this team will continue to keep going out in the round of 16. And look, I'm fine with saying Belgium are the better team. I'm not fine with saying Belgium are 3 goals better than us, and they are that more dominant than us. I mean, just looking, XG from Belgium, 2.15. Us, 0.67. Yeah, 6'7". Pathetic, really. That's all I have to say. I'm so disappointed. It's heartbreaking. It's tragic. Whatever words you want to put on it. It's the biggest missed opportunity of this generation. Probably the biggest missed opportunity by any United States team ever. A chance to go to the quarterfinals and be a top 8 team in the world, and you just crap the bed. Pathetic. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. we'll be back. I hope. I hope. We all can only hope.